If your dog follows you into every room, you probably think it is a sign of affection, or neediness, or perhaps just a bad habit. You are wrong. Dogs do not operate on human emotional logic. When they follow your movements, they are not acting out of love or boredom. They are executing a highly specific biological imperative. Today, we are stripping away the romanticized human view to look at the actual science. Here is the neurological and evolutionary reality of why your dog refuses to let you out of their sight. 1. The vulnerability instinct. Let us start with the one behavior that confuses owners the most: following you into the bathroom. To a human, the bathroom is a place of absolute privacy. To a dog's genetic memory, it is a place of profound danger. In the wild, an animal is never more vulnerable to predators than when they are eliminating. Their posture is compromised. Their senses are distracted. They cannot immediately run or fight. Wolves and wild canines solve this vulnerability through the pack. When one member is compromised, another stands guard. They watch the perimeter. They monitor for threats. Your dog does not know that your house has locks. They do not know what a bathroom is. What their nervous system tells them is that you are isolating yourself in a small room, closing the exit and putting yourself in a vulnerable position. When they push the door open or sit firmly against the other side of it, they are not invading your privacy. They are covering your blind spot. They are saying, in the oldest language they have, "I have the perimeter. You are safe." 2. The micro-movement translation. Have you ever noticed that your dog sometimes knows you are about to leave a room before you even stand up? You shift your weight. You let out a specific sigh. You look toward the hallway. And immediately, your dog is on their feet. We assume they are just easily disturbed. The truth is far more complex. Dogs are the greatest observers of human micro-movements on the planet. They do not just watch what you do. They study the exact sequence of muscle contractions that happen before you do it. To a dog, you are not just a person. You are an environment. You control access to the outside world, to resources, to safety. Because they cannot ask you what your plans are, they must rely on predictive observation. They follow you everywhere because they are constantly gathering data. They are mapping your habits. When you move toward the kitchen with a certain walking pace, they know it means food. When you walk toward the front door with a different posture, they know it means departure. Following you is how they stay ahead of the narrative. It is how they turn an unpredictable human world into a predictable, manageable reality. 3. The core regulator. There is a difference between a dog who follows you out of anxiety and a dog who follows you out of regulation. If a dog paces, whines, and cannot settle when you change rooms, that is separation anxiety. That is a nervous system in distress. But if your dog simply walks into the room you are in and immediately goes to sleep on the rug, that is something else entirely. That is co-regulation. Mammals regulate their own heart rates, breathing, and stress levels by being in proximity to a trusted figure. Human infants do it with their mothers. Dogs do it with you. Your dog's body literally feels different when they are in your physical orbit. Their cortisol drops. Their breathing slows. They do not follow you into the home office because the office is interesting. They follow you because your physical presence is the switch that turns their internal alarm system off. They are carrying their safety blanket with them, and that blanket is you. 4. The information funnel. Imagine living in a world where you do not speak the language, where you cannot read the signs, and where loud, unexplainable things happen outside your window every day. That is the daily reality of a dog. The delivery driver dropping a box, the loud car backfiring, the strange voices in the hallway. To make sense of this chaotic world, dogs use an information funnel, and you are at the very center of it. When a strange noise happens, your dog follows you to see how you react. They are looking at your face, your shoulders, the speed of your walk. If you walk to the window calmly, their brain registers. The leader is unbothered. The threat is zero. They shadow you because you are their translator. Without you, every sound is a potential danger. With you, the world is filtered, processed, and explained. They are not just following your body, they are following your judgment. 5. The disappearance of the pack. We forget, because they sleep on expensive beds and wear collars, that our dogs are wolves in domestic clothing. In a natural canine structure, isolation equals death. A canine separated from its group is entirely vulnerable to larger predators and starvation. Evolution is incredibly slow to rewrite survival rules. When you leave the room and close the door, human logic says, "I am just 3 meters away in the next room." Canine logic says, "The group has fragmented. The visual connection is broken." For many dogs, following you from the living room to the kitchen is not about being clingy. It is a deeply ingrained instinct to keep the pack consolidated. By keeping you in their line of sight, they are satisfying a primal urge that whispers, "Together, we survive. Apart, we are at risk." It is an ancient mathematics, and you are the most valuable number in the equation. 6. The scent gradient. Dogs see the world primarily through their nose. Their olfactory bulb is roughly 40 times larger than ours relative to brain size. When you move through your house, you are not just walking. You are leaving an invisible trail of scent. As you sit on the sofa, your scent pools there. When you get up and move to the kitchen, the scent trail is strongest where you currently are and begins to fade where you were. For a dog, moving toward the highest concentration of your scent is as natural as a human moving out of a dark room and toward the light. They follow you because the highest, freshest concentration of you, their primary source of comfort and dopamine, is the very air surrounding you right now. They are quite literally bathing in the safety of your scent. And when you move, the safety moves. So they move with it. 7. The sudden shift. If your dog has always followed you and suddenly stops, or if they never used to shadow you but suddenly cannot leave you alone, pay attention, because major changes in proximity behavior usually come from something specific. Pain, illness, age-related change, or a growing anxiety that was not there before. Dogs are creatures of pattern. When a pattern around closeness changes sharply, do not dismiss it. A dog who suddenly withdraws may be hiding discomfort. A dog who suddenly clings intensely may be trying to cope with something they do not understand. Either way, the behavior is information. It is data about their physical and emotional state that you need to investigate. The truth about the Velcro dog. It can be exhausting. To trip over them in the kitchen, to have them nudge the bathroom door open, to feel their breath on the back of your knee when you are just trying to make a cup of tea. But when you feel that frustration rising, remember what is actually happening. Your dog is not trying to annoy you. They are not acting out of a flaw in their character. They are guarding you when they think you are vulnerable. They are using you to make sense of a confusing human world. They are actively lowering their own heart rate by remaining in your shadow. To be followed by a dog is not a burden. It is the ultimate biological complement. It means that out of everything in their environment, out of every smell, every toy, every comfortable place to sleep, their brain has calculated that the safest, most valuable place on Earth is exactly where you are. They do not just love you. They have woven their entire existence around your physical presence. Every video on this channel begins the same way, with a question most dog owners have never stopped to ask. And then we go looking for the real answer, not the simplified version, not the comfortable assumption, the actual science, the studies, the behavioral research that takes years to surface and rarely reaches people in a way that feels like a real conversation. That is what we do here, every single time. If this video gave you something, a new way of seeing your dog, or a moment that made you stop and think, then do one thing before you leave. Hit like. Drop a comment and tell us what stood out to you most. And subscribe so you do not miss what we are putting out next. Because the more you understand your dog, the better life gets for both of you. And that is always worth showing up for.